Video for you today. We have horror news.
It's all horror.
And it's everything horror, so if you're horror fans like me with Creepshow t-shirt, obviously, we are going to dive right in and do some cool stuff for horror. Terrifier 2 is getting a novel, so that's going to be super cool. So if you're excited about the Terrifier and you can't wait for Terrifier 3, which is October 11th, I believe it is, in theaters, definitely check that out. Nightmare Isn't Over. What is this?
No, that's
Michael Myers' Mondo figure just got announced, so that's pretty cool. Definitely excited about that. Was this what the figure is based on? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What is this one?
Having it. That's the thing.
Limited to edition of 350 or retro. That's just the figure?
Yeah.
Okay. Available Thursday, June 27th at noon in the Mondo shop. So if you're big fans of Michael Myers and you want to pick up the new Mondo Michael Myers figure, definitely check it out on Thursday, the 27th, which is today. So today's the day, guys, if you're a big Michael Myers fans and you want to check it out. Rosario Dawson has joined the cast of the new Terminator Zero, premiering August 29th, starring Timothy Olyphant as Terminator himself. So it should be cool. This one's an animated series, though. So if you're big fans of animated and you like anime stuff, this new Terminator series might be for you. Not for me, because I'm a fan of the original T2. Obviously, Judgment Day is my favorite, so... Micah Monroe has confirmed that It Follows 2 is coming. So there's a sequel to It Follows, and it's going to begin filming early 2025. You don't want to miss that. Sarah Michelle Gellar is joining the Dexter Original Sin cast as Chief Tanya Martin. So that's going to be cool. Definitely excited for that if you're big Dexter fans. We got more Dexter coming your way, so stay tuned for Original Sin. The first season of HBO's Welcome to Derry will feature 9 episodes with Andy Muschietti reportedly seated in a director's chair for 4 of them. So if you like Andy Muschietti's work, he's on board for 4 episodes of Welcome to Derry, the Pennywise prequel series, I think.
I think so.
Following actors have been named.
That's the cast. I'm
not going to butcher any of their names. The Strangers Chapter 1 is coming to 4K on Blu-ray, on July 23rd. Aquatic horror movie The Last Breath unleashes killer sharks inside a World War II shipwreck this summer. Trailer's out now, so check out that one. The iconic Monster Hunter Van Helsing will return in a brand new television series over at CBS. I did not know that. That's kind of cool. The series is said to be a contemporary take on the Monster Hunter with Van Helsing and Mina Harker partnering to solve horrific crimes. I'm Just Dead. Ryan Gosling will produce the upcoming zombie comedy movie. They used to eat brains, now eat kale for Amazon. Oh my god, that sounds stupid. Amazon MGM Studios. When the Elm Street franchise gets remade, we know it will. Who would be your dream casting for Freddy Krueger? For me, I really like Devon Sawa, actually. I think Devon Sawa would be a great choice for Freddy Krueger in the movies. Devon's done a brilliant job with the Chucky series. I've really liked his work on Chucky. He's come a long way since The Kid and Final Destination, Idle Hands. I think Devon Sawa myself... Hey, how's it going, guys? I think Devon Sawa myself would be a brilliant choice for Freddy if they're going to do another Elm Street movie. So Devon Sawa for sure for me. I'll let you say who you think you were going to be.
I would agree with Robert Englund. I want Kevin Bacon to take over. Kevin Bacon's my choice. He's been in a lot of horror source and Sawa. Those two would battle it out. It'd be one of those two guys, Sawa or Bacon. Or if left field, if I had to go younger Freddy, Cole Sprouse for me, if they wanted to go younger. He's a very good actor, very dark. He can play every role. So one of those 3. So Cole Sprouse, Devon Sawa, or Kevin Bacon are my choices for Freddy Krueger, but he can't replace...
You obviously can't replace the legendary Robert Englund. Shout out, please. Nick Nelson, how's it going? Thank you for joining. What is my favorite horror movie? Well, I do have a lot of Friday the 13th stuff, as you can see behind me. But for me, it's probably Elm Street for me. But I do have a lot of Jason stuff, so I like both of them equal. Jason is, obviously I have a ton of Jason stuff. Which actually brings us to our horror stuff.
Do your favorites first.
Where's my other one?
That's all you gave me.
I should have the one of the worst ones.
That's all you gave me.
Well, it's probably upstairs somewhere.
I think you and I might agree with the worst.
Ghostface. Yeah, Ghostface is sick too. I do have some God autographed Ghostface mask as well.
Does he ever?
So I'm going to start with my underrated horror movies first. Pumpkinhead, for me, comes in at number 10. Bro, say hello. Flower, what's up? How's it going? Welcome to the page. Pumpkinhead, for me, starts at number 10. Definitely a very underrated horror movie. One of the best. I absolutely love Pumpkinhead. Haunt, for me, comes in at number 9. I thought Haunt was a fantastic movie. Definitely one of my favorites. I do have stuff from Haunt as well. Pearl comes in at number 8. Pearl was a very good movie for me. I really enjoyed Pearl. I think that was a fantastic movie. Definitely super excited to see Maxine, which comes out next week. I'm pumped for that one. Can't wait for Maxine. Definitely very excited for that movie. Sinister comes in at number 7 for me. Sinister is a very underrated horror movie that I'm not sure if a lot of people know about Sinister. But Sinister is a fantastic horror movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely check out Sinister. It is great. Number 6, we got Barbarian for me, which is a great movie as well. Very underrated. Serpent and the Rainbow comes in at number 5. A brilliant movie, actually. I really like that one from Wes Craven. That was a really well done. What is that? Maxine is out next week. Yes, I can't wait for Maxine. I am so excited for that one. I have loved the series. X was fantastic. Pearl was great. I can't wait to see how it ends. I love how they threw in the Night Stalker as well in this one. It is going to be epic. I cannot wait. Number 4 for me is Sleepaway Camp. Underrated. Because Sleepaway Camp did something that not a lot of movies did back in its time, right? Like, it was the first for its time of what it did and when it showed. I think Sleepaway Camp is a very underrated horror movie that comes at number 4. Number 3 for me is Return of the Living Dead. Fantastic movie. Obviously, everybody knows the Linnea Quigley scene. I'm not even going to attempt to go over it. If you know, you know. The real ones know. Linnea Quigley's the GOAT. Killer Clowns from Outer Space comes in at number 2 for me. It's very underrated. It's hilarious. It's a great movie. It's funny. The game is fantastic. If you haven't played the game yet, definitely check out the game. The game is so much fun. And for me, number 1 is actually the Friday the 13th, 2009 remake, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. The Friday the 13th remake was very, very good. I definitely enjoyed that one. The best movies, we'll go over that one. I had my worst list. I don't know where it is. We'll find it and we'll go over that one soon too. Child's Play comes in at number 10. I thought Child's Play was a fantastic series for me. Definitely did a lot of good things. I'm old school horror. Creature from the Black Lagoon obviously comes in at number 9. Because obviously, where would the horror be without the originals, right? Creature from the Black Lagoon in at number 9. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Zara. Thank you. Evil Dead. Evil Dead is fantastic too. I love the Evil Dead. Number 8 is Hellraiser for me. Obviously, Doug Bradley as Pinhead is epic. That series has been iconic. I can't wait for that one. Nosferatu looks great too. I'm definitely intrigued with the new Nosferatu movie. I think Bill Skarsgård's going to be amazing as Count Orlok. I cannot wait for that either. That's going to be awesome. Number 7 for me is the original Fog. I'm a huge John Carpenter fan. Like, I love The Fog. I love Halloween 1978. I love They Live. Carpenter's just a fantastic director. I love The Thing, obviously, is a fantastic movie from John Carpenter. Escape from LA, but obviously that's not horror. But Carpenter's just fantastic. And the best thing is Carpenter is finally getting his due. John Carpenter is getting his star on the Walk of Fame next year, which is absolutely epic. So cool to see horror get recognized on that scale, especially for John Carpenter and Robert Englund, apparently. Like, Robert Englund going on in that as well with this star on the Walk of Fame next year is absolutely iconic. The man, the myth, the legend. If you guys want to meet the man, the myth, the legend, Robert Englund, and you're in Canada, next weekend, guys, Robert Englund will be at Montreal Comic Con, so definitely go check out Robert Englund at Montreal Comic Con. He's not alone, Nightmare Friends, as he's going to be joined by Heather Langenkamp, Amanda Wise, Ronnie Blakely, all kinds of different people there from Elm Street, so definitely check that one out. Number 6 comes in, Carpenter. We're going to go with Carpenter again with The Thing. Absolutely fantastic movie. I love The Thing. Number 5 for me is Friday the 13th. Fantastic series. Number 4 is Halloween 1978. Carpenter, I know he makes the list again. The Saws I thought were very good, actually. I do enjoy the Saw movies as well. They were really good. The Saw movies were fantastic. What time is it here? Here is about 8:15 here in Canada. Number 3 for me is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974. Absolutely iconic movie. You cannot forget about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, what it did in a major scale for horror films, especially back then. It was probably one of the creepiest movies ever made at its time. Gunnar Hansen as Leatherface was epic. Just one of the all-time best movies ever was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974. Number 2 for me is going to shock a lot of people. It's Nightmare on Elm Street, actually, is number 2 for me. Fantastic movie. I really enjoyed Nightmare on Elm Street. It comes in at number 2. Subscribe. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Number 1 for me. Well, I go find my other list here in a second, and I get back to my buddy to take over for a little bit. Hey, Trip, how's it going? Number 1 for me, and this is just my personal preference, because this is a movie that's super iconic to me, and it definitely means a lot to me, and it's one of the best movies I think ever made, and that goes to Jaws, 1975. I really enjoyed Jaws to this day. I've seen Jaws about probably over 100 times. The character work between all the characters, like Richard Dreyfuss, Roy Schneider, and Robert Shaw, is just absolutely fantastic. Him as Quint was amazing. Just the overall atmosphere for Jaws 1975, for a movie that really, it was above its time and what it did for horror, especially for the shark genre of movies, where it made people scared to go in the water because they weren't sure what to expect, and it scared a lot of people the way that they did Jaws. Obviously, they had a lot of problems with Jaws with the shark itself, but the first movie alone is probably my absolute favorite, one of the best. Deep Blue Sea was fantastic, too. I really enjoyed Deep Blue Sea. I thought that was a fantastic movie. Definitely one of the best shark movies currently. The first one's good. The second one's good. Third one's actually not too bad. It drops off a little bit, but it still kind of stays relevant, which is good. Horror Nation, what's going on? Welcome to the channel, guys. Appreciate you guys coming in. And we got some sad news today to report, too. So, Toxic Avenger fans, there's some sad news to report. What movie did I make? I didn't make any movie. We got some sad news to report, though. Toxic Avenger fans, as Doug Sackman has passed away. You might know him from... He played Kabuki Man in Citizen Toxie. Yeah, unfortunately, he passed away today, which is super sad. I know... Definitely recognize him as that role in that Toxic movie. It's sad. Sad day for horror, so... I'll let my buddy go in here for a little bit as I find my other list, so he can talk about more horror stuff, so I'll be right back.
Horror. Christ.
Where is... Are you sure there's not 3 of them? Let me check upstairs.
So when he'll be back, I'll do my list while we're waiting. Sorry, I don't speak as great as he does. Underrated. He started there, and I'll get to mine. Mine are 13 Ghosts from 1960. It's not the Matthew Lillard version. This movie is so hard to find on home release. There we go. So now I can... There, I'm not so high up. Another one of mine is Sweeney Todd, the Demon. Barbara Fleet Street. Again, another movie that underrated for me. It's not horror-ish. Horror is like my friend would call. Another one, Johnny Depp. I'm a big Johnny Depp fan. He's done great. It's From Hell. It's a comic book movie, but also horror. Another one for me is from 1992. It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The late Donald Sutherland was in that film. And next on my list is Swamp Thing. It's a Wes Craven film. It's a superhero one, horror. He's a horror character. I'm not going to get into. Another one is Children of the Corn, the original. One of my all-time favorite books, / films. If you haven't seen it, it's worth it. There is a good remake, finally, of the series that took over. My number 7 is Midsummer, the most messed up mind films again ever made. That was from 2019. Man Thing, a Marvel comic character that's horror. That is, there's a movie hard to
In your
find.
pocket?
As I'm picking a look, another one for me is Death House with Kane Hodder.
Yeah, that was actually a good one.
Another underrated film. Not your typical horror movie, but it's one of my favorite. Another one for me, I'll bring it home, is The Lighthouse. This movie is Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe's best work. It's one of the films that got me into wanting Robert as the Cape Crusader, aka Batman. Another one, I've got 12, 13, there's a lot of movies I call underrated. Another one is A Haunting in Venice. It is a trilogy based on Agatha Christie novels, but this one is a horror. This is the horror one, very well done.
I'll write it out anyways. What's underrated?
In the back of that.
Yeah.
Another one for me is Misery with Kathy Bates. Another one I really, really love. If you haven't seen it, it's from the 90s. Yeah, 1990. And my last underrated is They Live with Roddy Piper. It's another one of my favorites. I'll go into I'm not a big horror fan of my friends. My favorite horror movies are, again, two of them underrated. One is The Lighthouse. That's not number one. One of my favorites. 13 Ghosts, again from 1960. Psycho, another one of my favorites. They did a really bad remake in 1998 in color, which butchered the original badly. The Birds, another Hitchcock. I have Nightmare on Elm Street with my friend, one of our favorite movies together. Robert Englund is amazing in that. Ghostbusters from 1984, one of my all-time favorite horror comedies. I watch it all through the year, just not through Halloween. Another horror movie that's surprising they considered horror, which I didn't, is Seven with Brad Pitt and get to the other guy at the moment. Another great one that inspired the Batman film. I also have A Haunting in Venice, another one from my underrated to my favorite horror. Gremlins, supposedly I read that they considered horror. It's still another one. Halloween, another one of my favorites. An American Werewolf in London, another one I really, really love that's surprised people. Carrie, the original, and then forget her name, the remake with, I can't even name it at the moment, the Amityville Horror. Sorry if I butchered that. I sometimes butcher words. I apologize. Firestarter, the remake, and I love the original as much, so both of them. The Omen from 1976. Hereditary is another one I really loved. And the last for me is Beetlejuice, horror comedy. Since he's still trying to work out the worst for me is See No Evil with Kane.
Oh, that was okay.
I think my friend will agree with this one. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2022.
Yep.
Halloween Season of the Witch, we both don't like. The Monksters from Rob Zombie, that was just, I didn't love the Strangers Chapter 1 because to me it took two films that were good, or iconic technically, back in the early 2000s, and chainsawed them into one film. I have Jaws 3D, Jaws 4, Jason X. I didn't like Blood and Honey #1. Didn't know what they were doing with that one. The First Omen, my friend can agree with that one as well. Talk to Me, Night Swim, and Us are the least for me. And I have one more. My worst remakes in horror, my friend will agree with me with everything. I have Candyman, Nightmare on Elm Street 2010, Child's Play, the Poltergeist remake that our friend Lance loves, and he's recommended it, so I do own it. Carrie from 2002. Yes, there was a remake before the one I really liked. The Fog remake was bad. Fright Night from 2011. The House of Wax, the second remake. And Psycho, what I just mentioned to you. It's got Vince Vaughn. It's in color, and it's not very good. But hey, give it a shot. I mean, I didn't look. And those are my horror films. I know a lot of comedies. My friend's got his worst. I'll let him take over.
You have to be. Read your comments. Okay, yeah. Midsummer is quality, yeah. All right. So for me, starting off at number 10 is Child's Play 2019. This is the worst list. Number 9 for me is Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. Not one of the best films, especially because it didn't have Robert Englund as Freddy. The story was kind of all over the map, not really great at all. Number 8 for me is Leprechaun in Space and Back to the Hood. Both of those were absolute garbage. The first Leprechaun movie was great. It definitely dropped off when he went to space. It was awful. I definitely don't recommend that. It's terrible. Number 7 for me is The Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage. Absolute garbage movie. One of the worst horror movies I think ever made is that one. The original apparently is really good. I've never seen the original. Supposedly the original is great. But the remake with Nicolas Cage is absolute garbage. It is awful. Coming in at number 6 is Exorcist Believer. Now, I had high hopes for Exorcist Believer. I thought this movie was going to be fantastic. I was willing to give what is his name?
David Gordon Green.
David Gordon Green another chance. But after that, that was just terrible. They brought back a legacy character in Regan's mom. They barely used her. Regan was barely used. She just felt like an afterthought in that movie. Story was all over the map. It was awful. Obviously, it was so bad it cost David Gordon Green his job. So obviously, Exorcist is taking it in a whole new direction when it comes back because they want to erase everything that Gordon Green did with that one. That was terrible. And 28 Days Later, yeah, that one was okay. Halloween Ends comes in at number 5 for me. A series that I had high hopes for, especially with the 2018 Halloween one that they put out, which I thought was really well done. Halloween Kills, which I also thoroughly enjoyed. The start of that movie was fantastic with all the kills. Obviously, it goes by the wayside with the Evil Dies Tonight thing. But Halloween Ends was just terrible. It was a movie that didn't know what it wanted to be. It was like 10 different things at once. They had something with the Corey character, killing him off midway through the movie. Obviously, having Laurie Wynn was okay, but just the way that they went about the whole thing, it was just awful. It just really left a bad taste in a lot of Halloween fans' mouths. It just was not very good. And Gordon Green took a lot of heat for that one, as he should. You like the zombie films? Some of Rob Zombie's stuff is okay. I don't mind his Halloween, the first one. The second one I thought was terrible. Halloween 2 could easily make the worst list, because Halloween 2 that Rob Zombie did, I believe in 2009, was like absolute garbage. A movie that had no story, just went nowhere, it was just trash. He's had some misses. That was a miss for me, for Rob Zombie. 31 was a miss for me, for Rob Zombie as well. The best part of 31 was basically Richard Brake's performance as Doomhead was fantastic. But other than Richard Brake's standout performance as Doomhead, the movie is awful. Lords of Salem was just absolute garbage. One of the worst movies I've ever seen. That was just trash. And that's not even getting started on his terrible remake of The Munsters. What in the hell was that? I'm a fan of The Munsters, but that was garbage. That was like the worst remake movie thing I've ever seen. It's just straight garbage. But at least they're bringing it back as a TV series or TV kind of another movie. They're taking another attempt at it. This time with James Wan doing it, so I think it might be a little bit better than Rob Zombie's take of it, which was absolute trash. It's so bad. But of his movies I did like The House of a Thousand Corpses. I did like The Devil's Rejects, was fantastic. And Three from Hell I thought was really good. Richard Brake did a great job of filling in for Sid Haig after he passed away, which I thought was fantastic. But yeah, back to my list. The Fog remake, obviously. The Fog 2005 was just terrible. I don't know why they even made it. Horror Nation, what's up, buddy? How's it going? Yeah, the Fog remake was just trash. I don't know why you'd want to remake something that Carpenter made so iconic with his score in the film and everything that Carpenter did, and just terrible. The Mist was equally as bad. I don't know if you've seen The Mist, but The Mist is just terrible. Terrible movie. Don't waste your time. Number 2, Jaws 3D. What in the hell was that? Jaws 3D was absolute trash. The most garbage movie in the franchise. Well, no, not quite. No, not quite the most garbage. We're getting there. We're sticking with the shark for number 1. We're sticking with the shark. Oh, if you thought 3 was bad, oh, it gets worse. It gets way worse. But Jaws 3D was absolute trash. It was so bad. The effects were horrible. It was filmed for 3D and put out in 2D, which made 0 sense. If you're going to make a movie that's 3D, guys, make the movie 3D. We don't need the 2D effects in a 3D movie. It's trash. And I love the shark. My God, you should have ended at Jaws 2. And for the number 1 worst movie of all time, especially that kill at the end where the shark's roaring. He's roaring like he's a lion. It's a shark, for God's sakes. It's not a lion, it's a shark. They're not supposed to roar? Was this a Katy Perry song? Jaws 4 The Revenge is the absolute worst movie ever made. Absolute trash. It takes the number 1 spot. Jaws 4 The Revenge, absolute garbage. Number 1 worst horror movie ever made. I don't even know why they even made that thing. It was just terrible. Complete waste of time. Sharks roaring like it's a friggin' tiger in the jungle. Oh my God, and that kill at the end was just absolute trash. They tried to recreate the iconic kill from the first one, and it just went absolutely nowhere. It was so bad. I couldn't even tell you what they were thinking on that one. Obviously, the sequels were so bad because Roy Schneider himself didn't even want to sign on for them. He's like, absolutely no, this is trash. What are you guys making? Obviously, Jaws should have ended at Jaws 2. Jaws 4, if you're just joining us, is the absolute worst movie ever made. It is number 1 on my list, so Jaws 4 is terrible. Love Johnny Depp. Yeah, Johnny Depp is cool, guys. Yeah, Jeepers Creepers 3 is terrible. We'll never talk about that movie ever on here. The director, he was a special place in hell for that guy. Part 2 and Part 1 are good, but we'll never talk about Part 3 on here. Other movies that are bad are probably, there's so many that are bad. The Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich was terrible. That was not a very good movie at all. Dr. Death was okay, but it kind of really had no, story or no nothing for Dr. Death either. But I'm going to have a drink after I just went over on Jaws 3D and Jaws 4, which I need a break from Jaws 4 right now. That was just terrible.
You couldn't have done any better than that. I'm not saying that's a good thing. No, Jaws 3D and Jaws Revenge is both really bad. They are on 4K, as we know, but I would not recommend them. The first and second are what made Jaws. Jaws 3 and 4 basically, to me, inspired one of my friend's favorite, Miss Sharknado, basically, came from that, if you want to see one honesty.
Basically.
Any other horror movies we're getting from worst or best?
For me, I really like the Hellraiser one. The Hellraiser remake that they did with
yes, that was good.
With the girl, I thought was really well done. I enjoyed that one quite a bit.
Friday the 13th, 2010 is not a remake. It's a sequel to the original series.
2009, what do you mean?
Yeah, it's a remake. It keeps the series going supposedly.
But that one was actually very underrated.
Yeah, it was, 100%.
Not bad.
You haven't seen 13 Ghosts from 1960. That's one of my favorite underrated films.
I've seen the Matthew Lillard one.
Yeah, different film completely.
The Matthew Lillard one was really good.
Yeah, that's another one I really liked. Another horror movie, I know it's kid, but it's considered horror for kids, was Scooby-Doo. My first intake to horror was Scooby-Doo, so yes, I'm not being seen at the moment, that's fine.
Five Nights at Freddy's actually, I think was like the standout film of 2022.
Yeah, I think
22?
so.
23. Standout film of 23, I think. Five Nights at Freddy's was absolutely amazing.
And he killed it.
Oh, yeah. Matthew Lillard did a fantastic job in Five Nights at Freddy's. Great movie.
Part
2 is coming next year, though, guys, so stay tuned.
Did you like From Hell with Johnny Depp?
From Hell? Yeah. I don't remember that one too well.
Okay. Would you consider, one I didn't put on my list was Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman. Do you consider that horror?
It's kind of horror, I think.
I didn't know what to put it, and I'll put Puppet Master, another series we forgot completely.
Puppet Master is good, but as a Puppet Master fan myself, it does kind of drop off at like 2, 3, 4. Like, it's kind of like like Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Like, the first one was great. Second one, it's hit and miss. The third, Dream Warriors, is fantastic. The fourth one is okay. It slowly slides down, but they really redeemed themselves with Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my absolute favorite Elm Street films is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I thought it was fantastic, especially bringing Freddy to life in the real world instead of the dream world, but bringing him into our world where he becomes reality. With Heather Langenkamp did an amazing job in that movie. Miko Hughes was fantastic as Dylan. For those who don't know, Miko Hughes did play Dylan in that movie. And Miko Hughes also played the kid in Pet Sematary, the original one. He was Gage in that movie.
Learning things every day. We can't forget to mention Freddy vs. Jason, because that was iconic for many reasons and not great, but it was for its time.
Freddy vs. Jason was definitely one of the more iconic killer versus killer matchups that they were going to do. But originally, Freddy vs. Jason was supposed to be a triple threat match. It was supposed to be a 3-person match.
Yeah, we asked Williams.
It was supposed to be Ash Williams versus Freddy versus Jason. And that all stemmed from the book being used to resurrect Jason. I believe in the later sequels, I believe it was 8 or 9, that they used the book to bring Jason back, so he became more like a Deadite kind of thing. So he kind of fits into the both worlds, which is kind of really cool. So there's so much good stuff. I'm going to dive into my top upcoming horror movies this year.
Maxine's one of them.
Obviously, Maxine is definitely on that list. And we will have a review for you guys for Maxine as soon as we go and see it.
Yeah.
Probably be sometime next week. But there will definitely be a review for Maxine. I am so excited for that movie.
We're doing on a theater one.
Number 2 for me is Terrifier 3. Definitely stoked to see what they've done for Terrifier 3.
Mm-hmm.
That franchise has been fantastic. Alien Romulus is definitely on that list.
Yep.
I love Fede Alvarez. I love his work for Don't Breathe. Evil Dead 2013 I thought was fantastic from him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really interested to see what Fede Alvarez does with the Alien franchise. Alien Romulus is definitely on the list at number 3 as one of the top movies to go and see this year. Number 4 that recently just came out, Quiet Place Day 1.
Yeah.
I think that one's going to fly under the radar a lot because it's a prequel movie.
It's the origins.
But I'm intrigued on that one because I've really enjoyed The Quiet Place itself. First one, not so much at first. It grew on me a little bit, but the second one was definitely outstanding. They're making another one after this one, but definitely Quiet Place Day 1 is definitely number 4 on that list for top horror movies to go and see this year.
100%.
Number 5 that we still haven't seen yet, that I still want to see at some point, that's coming to Shudder, I think later on this year, is the In a Violent Nature, which is that first-person horror movie that's coming out. That actually looks really cool. I'm definitely excited to see that one.
Poorly marketed.
But they didn't really market it too much. It barely showed in Canada. Now we have to wait until Shudder acquires it to see it, so that's kind of killing it a little bit for me, but I'm definitely intrigued to...
We still want to see it no matter what. If it's, we're still interested. We both are. He's saying the list he's saying is for me as well.
what other horror movies are coming out this year?
I'll use my Google machine. Give me.
We'll Google the machine for some more horror movies. Insidious is coming back next year, guys.
That we don't know.
Saw is coming back next year for another one.
What's your take on the new Insidious?
It could be good. I thought it ended perfectly, though. We got all kinds of good ones coming. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 next year. Megan 2 next year.
You forgot one for this year.
Which one?
Lisa Frankenstein. Touch on that one. I'm looking.
Oh, that was terrible.
No. Okay, I'm trying to get to say something. I'm looking here.
Oh, but another one that's flying under the radar, too, that a lot of people are overlooking is Longlegs. Which definitely has me intrigued because Longlegs kind of has that vibe of it's kind of like... It almost has that vibe where it's like a Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter kind of thing. So I'm kind of intrigued on Longlegs. Definitely flying under the radar for sure is Longlegs.
100%.
I'm definitely intrigued to see it, to see what it's all about. Supposedly, Longlegs is being regarded as one of the most scariest movies ever made. So
Well,
they say that about a lot of horror movies. So I'm definitely intrigued to see what Longlegs does, especially being like marketed as one of the scariest movies of all time. Not the biggest fan of Nicolas Cage. I find him very hit and miss. But you don't see much of him in this trailer, so I'm very intrigued as to how his character is for Longlegs. I'm definitely intrigued on Longlegs. It's definitely one of the ones that's flying under the radar for sure for me.
There's Apartment 74. I mentioned that too. That's the original to Babe Rosebud's
you.
Baby. So, get up then. I guess I'm speaking. So there's Apartment 74. I'm gonna list them all off. Ones you haven't said. There's that one. There's All My Friends Are Dead. That's got Jojo Suave. I think I didn't butcher her name. There's A Different Man with Sebastian Stan. There's one way I'm having trouble pronouncing in my head. Sorry about that. There's, how do you pronounce that? It's Nicolas Cage again.
Arcadian?
Arcadian. There's Israel. He's already, there's Ben. No, not that one. Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that can be considered horror.
Blink Twice, director Joey Kravitz's directorial debut, pardon me. There's Bloodline Killer with Bruce Dern. Bunker Heights is another horror movie coming this year, or could already be out. I will look after. Camp Pleasant Lake. It's got Jonathan Lipnicki from, I can't think of it right. Oh, Show Me the Money. What's the movie?
Jerry Maguire.
Thank you. There's Kaku. There's Cult Killer. Dancing Village, The Curse Begins. Dark Game is coming. There's Dead Male. Demon Slayer. That's all I'm going to say. It's a Japanese film. Destroy All Neighbors with Jonathan Ray Randy. Ex-Huma is coming. Festival of the Living Dead with Ashley Moore. There's Ghostbusters that's already out. That was one of my favorite films of the year. I forgot about that one. That's okay. Nope, that's already out. Grave Torture. There's Handling the Undead. The Hugh Grant one there. The one you want to see.
Oh, Hectic.
Yeah,
or Heretic.
Thank you. Humane is coming. History of Evil. There's...
What's that Gacy one? So you can find about the Gacy one I sent you.
Yeah, I'll look in a second for that. You're asking for what's coming. I don't understand. Oh, what I forgot I want to see is I saw the TV Glow. I do still want to see that. Imaginary, we saw that.
Yep.
You mentioned already in Violent Nature. What's Inside. Sorry, I butcher things. Human Thong is another American one. Lisa Frankenstein, my friend, did not like. Long Wait, lovely, dark and deep. It's a horror movie with Georgina Campbell. Low Life. There's a lot, guys. I'm not going to name them all. I'm just going to... Maxine's one we're both excited for. Mickey's Mousetrap. There's My Zombabe.
Well, you know who plays Mickey in the Mickey movie?
Yep.
David Howard Thornton, guys, has been cast as Mickey Mouse in the Mickey Mouse movie.
There's Never Let Go. Night Bitch is the name of the film.
There's one coming. Peter Pan.
Oh, yeah.
Everland Nightmare, something.
You mean Neverland Nightmare?
That's the one.
Christ, we don't need it.
That's coming at some point this year.
Wusu has Present. There's Shelby Oaks, which sounds like Skeletons in the Closet with Terrence Howard and Cuba Gooding Jr. That would be fun to see. Smile 2 is coming.
Yep.
The sequel. Somewhere Quiet. James McAvoy, who's in X-Men, has Speak No Evil coming. Sting, I couldn't tell you much about. That's Strange Darling. I'm speaking through most of them now. Stream, Sunrise, that card movie we didn't like very much.
Oh, terrible. Yeah, that's terrible.
You already said Terrifier 3. The Crow remake, or reimagining as they're calling it now. The Cursed Land. The Deliverance. There's The Exorcism with Russell Crowe. We saw The First Omen. Don't. The First Room with Brandy. That's the girl singer.
Oh, yes.
Home with Pete Davidson. There you go. Jack in the Box Rises. The Mummy Murders. There's Almost Left House. There's Shreds. I butchered. Then we have The Strangers Part 2 and then 3. The Substance, The Watchers. I do want to see The Watchers, actually. There is a Monster. They Listen. Things Will Be Different. Time Cut. Trapped. Under Paris. Blood and Honey 2, we can't find. Thank the Lord. Witchboard. Oh, Jamie Campbell. And Your Monster.
Well, you find that John Gacy one there.
Oh, John. Jesus Christ.
Well, my friend's finding the movie that I sent them to look for us for the thing. Let's touch about some good horror actors coming to Canada, guys, in October for Frightmare in the Falls. My God, what a convention so far that they have put together. You have Richard Dreyfuss from Jaws, Sam Raimi, legendary director for Spider-Man, for Evil Dead, coming to Canada. Eli Roth of Thanksgiving fame and Hostel fame is coming to Canada for Frightmare in the Falls. And just announced the legendary Candyman himself, Tony Todd, coming to Canada for Frightmare in the Falls, guys, this October. Going to be really cool to see who else they actually add. There's a few horror legends that are coming to Frightmare in the Falls for Canada this year. So if you're in the Niagara Falls area, guys, and you haven't been to Frightmare in the Falls, definitely check it out, especially if you're big horror fans. They have absolutely everything for horror fans, from like photo ops that are really cool, that are free, to paid photo ops with celebrities. Definitely a really cool experience. The celebrities are amazing there. I know when I went there last time, it was fantastic back in 2022. I got to meet the likes of Daniel Harris, Bill Moseley, Michael Berryman, John Kassir, who plays the Crypt Keeper. For those who don't know, he was the voice of the Crypt Keeper for all those years. Very cool guy. Warrington Gillette, Dick Wiend, who obviously played the fake Jason in Friday the 13th Part 5. Lots of cool guests there last year's, or in 2022, so definitely if you're big horror fans, check out Frightmare in the Falls, guys. The lineup is absolutely stacked this year with Richard Dreyfuss, Tony Todd, Sam Raimi, and Eli Roth, all in Canada. How cool is that? If you haven't been, definitely check it out. It's definitely worth it, guys. Yeah, now we're going to touch on another horror series that's coming. Michael Cernas will lead Peacock's upcoming limited drama series, Devil in Disguise. It's another series on serial killer John Wayne Gacy, so obviously you see bits and pieces of him in the Monsters series that they put together for Netflix, so that is coming this year. So stay tuned for that on Peacock. It could be interesting, could be good. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this video of horror stuff. Almost 40 minutes of a horror episode is absolutely amazing. You guys are all fantastic. I love you guys coming up there and checking this out and watching the video.
Thank you.
Really appreciate everybody. Really appreciate everybody. You guys are amazing. The Ice Cream Man. Oh, yeah. I have the Ice Cream Man poster. Yeah, it's really cool. I have his autograph, too. Texas Chainsaw is definitely quality. Especially the 2013 remake was really good. We're sorry that we couldn't get to as many of the comments as we tried. It's a little tough, guys, sometimes when we're going through our list and stuff to read them off as fast as they come on the screen, and definitely apologize that we weren't able to get to all of them, but we definitely try. We will try to get to a few more of them next time for sure when you guys are on the videos. So it does happen. The videos go by really fast, and reading off the list, it's difficult to keep track of the comments sometimes, but we will do better to keep track of the comments for sure. Appreciate everybody coming on here. Horror Nation, thank you for joining the page. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you coming on here. If you have any tips for us trying to do these horror episodes, or you have any anything for us to try horror movie related or stuff like that, definitely let us know, and we'll definitely give it a shot. Maybe we'll even give it a review. We did talk about doing retro reviews on here too. We're definitely intrigued to do some retro reviews. I know I've never seen The Burning. I definitely want to see The Burning. It kind of has me intrigued. It has the real F-13 vibe, which I like. Yeah, definitely gonna do some retro reviews, guys. Thank you so much for joining onto the channel tonight. Thank you so much for joining into the live. Appreciate everybody coming on here. We'll do more of these top 10s if you want. Whether it be comedies, action movies, horror movies, just movies in general. If you want like our top 10 movies in general from this year, last year. We're probably going to end the year with a big roundup of the movies, the best ones that we've seen this year, the worst ones that we've seen this year. So you won't want to miss that one. That one's going to be an epic show for sure. Yeah, and we'll see you guys in the next one. If you haven't subscribed yet, guys, definitely feel free to subscribe. I believe we're closing in on 100 subscribers, which is a huge win. So thank you, everybody, so much. We really appreciate everybody, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you, guys.